Breaking news here on the Dallas Cowboys report as Dalton Schultz has been franchise tagged. More on that coming up, but first, make sure you guys subscribe. This is why you sub to the Cowboys report, because when Cowboys news happens, we break it down for you. Hit that big red button and subscribe right now. The Dallas Cowboys have indeed placed the franchise tag on tight end Dalton Schultz, a heavily rumored and bordering on expected move, and it always made more sense than, say, tagging Randy Gregory, broken this morning by Ian Rapoport. Now, the Cowboys are hoping to get a long-term deal done, which is what is always said anytime a player gets franchise tagged. We'll break down some of the logistics and why I don't love this move by the Cowboys. Before that, though, I mean, you guys know Dalton Schultz quite well. It's going to be a $10.93 million franchise tag for 1 year if there's no long-term deal. So grade the move for me. How you feeling about it? A, B, C, D, or F? Grade it for me right now in the comments. As I mentioned, that tag is worth $10.93 million. That number was finalized yesterday. I said it was going to be around 11, just under, and that's what it ended up coming in at. The highest number I saw was actually 10.83, so a little bit higher from that perspective. The Cowboys, per Michael Gell, can feel good about being able to get a long-term deal done with Dalton Schultz. And make no mistake, that's going to be expensive because no agent worth his salt is going to let Schultz sign for less than even $11 million per year on a long-term deal. And had Schultz hit the open market, I feel very confident saying he would have blown by that $11 million per year figure, especially in light of Mike Gesicki, in light of David Njoku getting tagged. Schultz, by a pretty good margin, would have been tight end one on the free agent market. And for teams like the Jags and the Jets, with glaring needs at that position and lots of money to spend, a tight end who is a good enough blocker, maybe even bordering on a good blocker, just not in space, and a guy with, who would be a nice safety valve, with 808 yards and 8 scores. That's top-tier production, guys. That guy, he might have gotten 13, 14 million. Dead serious. On the open market, I'd say at minimum 12.5. So with that in mind, would you have tagged Dalton Schultz? Y for yes or N for no? This is the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes on YouTube, take advantage of it. Head down there and let me know. Y for yes or N for no? I would not have tagged Dalton Schultz. This is not the route I would go if I were the Cowboys. Although, to be fair, me and Catboy disagree on every path they've taken, or almost every path they've taken so far. I would have been fine restarting at tight end. Well, we'll get to the Blake Jarwin impact here in a little bit. But the Cowboys' philosophy appears to be that Dalton Schultz is either better, more important, and or more valuable than Amari Cooper and DeMarcus Lawrence, which is wrong. It's just not true. And yeah, it seems like the Cowboys want to keep Schultz and then give the Cooper-Lawrence money potentially to Gallup and Gregory, the lesser of those two positions. But hey, you kept Schultz, right? At least you have a reliable option now at tight end. Because had you lost Blake Jarwin, or had you lost Dalton Schultz, I don't know if Blake Jarwin's playing ever. That hip injury is a very real red flag. Now, I'll make note, Todd Archer says there is some guaranteed money for injury, which not what was on Spotrac over the cap, but Todd don't miss. So I would be inclined to believe that one. Maybe there's a pay cut coming for Blake Jarwin. Change his base salary to roster bonus stuff based on game days to keep his cap hit down, since it's bad news for Jarwin and that hip. But I would have been okay with restarting. There are good tight ends in this year's draft class I could have gotten in round 3. Could have taken a Jeremy Rucker. Could have signed an O.J. Howard and kept that $11 million or so and just paid Amari Cooper. That's the route I would have gone. Cowboys don't feel the same way because, remember, they like their guys sometimes. Today's show is powered by BetUS. Head over to chatsports.com/bet and use the promo code you see on screen, Cowboys125. March Madness is just around the corner. You can bet on Kentucky. I know we got some Duke fans in the comments. Not me. You can bet on them to win the NCAA tournament. There's a lot going on there. Chatsports.com/bet, promo code Cowboys125. Now that Schultz has been tagged, we have to operate under that reality. I don't want him playing on the tag. I don't think Dalton Schultz 1 year, $11 million is a good value. It's not. That you have zero flexibility with that particular contract with the franchise tag. You can't add fake years. You can't extend him. You have until July to get that long-term deal done. I don't want him playing at 1 year, $11 million. I would rather pay him even close to the market rate because I can manipulate that contract. I can bring it down. I can have it being a low cap hit in year 1, in year 2, and going up as the salary cap continues to skyrocket. Now, I don't have a great feel, or at least I don't know, what Schultz's agent and camp are asking for. Probably wants at least Hunter Henry money, $12.5 million a year. His second franchise tag would be over $13 million. So I think at minimum, Hunter Henry, Jonnu Smith, Austin Hooper type of money is realistic and expected for Dalton Schultz. That is the market. That is what it costs. Now, problem here is twofold. Number one, the Cowboys have a very poor track record of getting a long-term deal done with the first franchise tag. Didn't do it with DeMarcus Lawrence. Didn't do it with Dak Prescott. It has been an issue for this organization for many years because I don't think Stephen Jones has a remotely good feel for what the market actually is. There are whispers out there. Their initial offer to Gallup came in $6 million under what Gallup wanted. And that's a Stephen Jones issue in the end. So on a per-year basis, and remember, if you go 5 years versus 4 years, it ends up being a bit more expensive overall. What is the most that you would pay Dalton Schultz per year? Is it 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? What is it? And you can go low if you don't want to pay him, but get your votes in for me, your answers in for me in the comments right now. Look, Schultz is going to get at least $11 million per year. That is the franchise tag cost, more or less. His agent's not going to say, yes, Dalton, sign this 4-year, $40 million when we're staring down the barrel of, $24 million guaranteed the next 2 years. And I think that $24 million guaranteed is about what he's going to be asking for at minimum, probably in that general ballpark. Maybe if it's a longer deal, it's a bit higher. These numbers all interact with each other, but $24 million guaranteed is the franchise tag this year, the franchise tag next year. Makes sense to ask for that amount guaranteed. And in general, you get at least 50% of your deal guaranteed. So I think you're looking at 4 years, $48 million, thereabouts. That is the tight end market. That's what it costs if you're going to pay somebody of Dalton Schultz's caliber. The Cowboys don't, this is Stephen Jones' own words, they don't like spending in free agency because you pay good talent, great money. That is the exact situation they have put themselves in now with Dalton Schultz. Because you franchise tagged him. You are operating in the free agency market whether or not Stephen Jones wants to admit it. Was the same issue with DeMarcus Lawrence, the same issue with Dak Prescott, and others throughout the years. You're not getting a discount with the tag. Now, if Dalton says, okay, I'll take a little bit less, awesome, great. This is his first contract. He's been playing as a fourth round pick. I don't think he's going to take a big-time team-friendly deal. And it's not his responsibility to. It's the team's responsibility to make it all work and be aggressive with how they manage the salary cap. So make your prediction for me. Will the Cowboys get a long-term deal done with Dalton Schultz? 1 for yes, 0 for no. Does it happen? Got till July 15th to figure it out. Other minor news updates here, at least very much expected. The Dak Prescott restructure is now going down. Now, this was erroneously reported like 2 months ago. Oh, he's got the restructure. No, it's not what happened. This is what the Cowboys should do every single year with Dak Prescott's deal. Keep his cap hit low. You don't want to pay Dak Prescott $35 million a cap hit. No, that's bad. That's bad roster management. Instead, because you got those void years on his deal, like a smart organization. You just restructure, keep kicking the can down the road, extend him, then restructure again. And then once he's 35 years old, 37 years old, and he's retiring or whatever, maybe 40th the going rate for modern-day QBs and the medical stuff and whatnot, well, then you eat the 1 year bad cap hit as you rebuild since you don't have a franchise QB. That's what smart organizations do. This will save the Cowboys between 14, 15, 16 million thereabouts, depending on just how much money of Dak Prescott's, the amount of Dak Prescott money to move around. So, good job, Dallas. If you didn't do this, I would have burned the star down. Zach Martin is also getting his contract restructured. Maybe not a huge surprise here either. Per Michael Gelkin, the Cowboys are also adding void years to Zach Martin's deal. This, I'm not sure just how much it'll save. Again, depends on how much they move around. You're looking at somewhere in the range of $6 million up to maybe $8 million, probably closer to that $6 million figure. So just like that, the Cowboys have saved $20 million in salary cap space. It's not that hard. They should do it more often.